So we're gonna get started. As I should have told you as you came in, we are recording the meeting this time around. So we're gonna test it out and see if people will listen to it after the fact, because there are quite a few parents that said they can't make the meeting at 5:30, but would love to hear what happened. So last meeting, we made the decision to record the meeting today. So just to make everybody aware that it is being recorded if it didn't tell you when you first came in. So I'm going to get started. It is 5:33. Let's see. And yep, the last person I was waiting for is here. So good to go. So welcome everybody. This is our last PTO meeting for 2021. We don't have a meeting in December. So our next meeting is going to be in January. I believe it's January 12th. Same time on Zoom. And maybe at that meeting, we'll discuss whether or not we want to start doing in person or not. As I don't know if we're going to do this for the rest of the year, or we'll take a vote on that. With that, excuse me, sorry, Margaret, I'll give it up to you for the minutes.
I just need somebody to motion to approve them, or if they have any changes.
I make a motion to approve.
I second Nicole's motion.
Thank you.
I did, while we're on minutes, just I did have a thought, and if it would be helpful, if not, you can keep trucking the way you're doing it. Sometimes if you share the minutes via Drive, then we can all make the edits, and that way when we review them, we can make the edits that we see that need to be made, and then we can just vote, and we won't. I know that last month it was just minimal, but as we're moving forward, if we have a lot of things that need changes, it just ends up taking up a little bit of time that we don't really need to do. So just a thought, if that's something that Margaret feels comfortable with.
Sure. What do you mean by sharing them? Like just share the Google Drive document?
Right. Like, so when you record the minutes, whether it be tonight or tomorrow, whenever you're comfortable, just sharing it with whoever was in attendance tonight. And
Sure,
that way,
absolutely.
You know, especially where it's fresh in everybody's heads, then we can kind of just, like if I saw like last month, for instance, where I saw there was a name that needed to be changed, I could just make that change, review them, and then the next month we're just boom, ready to go.
So that sounds good.
Yeah, and we have a shared Google Drive that we probably should start using for our documents. That way, if somebody can't make a meeting or we need to look up something, we can get into it. And I'll share that with everybody. Okay, so I guess we'll move on to Robert's report, the treasurer.
Okay, I'll be brief. Since last month, we basically spent a lot of time doing the reimbursing teachers for teacher startup costs. That was a vast amount of bookkeeping activity to record. So I know Jennifer did the lion's share of the work, issuing checks and recording it into that shared spreadsheet, which was super helpful. And then I put it all into, yeah, I think that's, yeah, it's great. I copy and paste as much as I can. And then I have to enter each transaction into QuickBooks.
Okay.
Which is, that's nothing we can do about that. That's just a little slow.
Okay.
But that's sort of the basis for all of our accounting. But really that's it. I believe we wrote a check to reimburse student council t-shirts. Mm-hmm. But otherwise it was just a lot of teacher checks going to teachers, which is great. It's exactly what we like. It seems to me that it's the highest dollar amount we've ever sent out to teachers for these startup costs. So I guess everybody participated, which hasn't always been the case.
There were 102 eligible staff eligible. We got to find another name for this because it's not just teachers.
Right.
So if anybody wants to come up with a really good name for that program, I'm all for it. Because it's like the OT, the librarian, the art teacher, the music teacher. So some people weren't aware that they were eligible. So I kind of worked with the schools in making sure that people were more aware of it this year. So I think that helped. So there's 102 eligible, and I believe I wrote 79 checks, waiting to
Wow.
write one more for a teacher who's on maternity leave, and I know she only checks her email every once in a while. So I told her whenever she gets around to it, because she has a newborn, so I was fine with that.
Yeah, and for anybody who's not familiar, there's a cap of $100. So
Yeah.
basically, it's 80 teachers times 100. So it was a pretty good expenditure.
Yeah, and some teachers didn't even reimburse. Like I had one for like $28. So not everybody takes full advantage of the full 100. But so it'll be 80 checks in the end. I think Drew was just checking with 2 teachers over at Lincoln Street School to see if they knew they were eligible. I don't know if you had a chance to do that yet or not, Drew. And then, what was I going to say? Yeah, so it was probably like participation was probably like 78%.
Wow.
So
Pretty good. Yeah. That's really all the bookkeeping activity. If you wanted to look at the financial report that was sent out, you'll see that activity spanning from October through November. Just a lot of money hitting that teacher expense reimbursement line item. The other big bookkeeping activity that took place recently was getting in touch with our tax accountants to do our annual tax return. So our return is due on December 15th, which is, because we're not for profit, I think it's 5 months after our weird year end, which is July 31st. And so our accountants, in case you wanted to know, are Wadima, Lavin, and Grott, which is a firm in Portsmouth. They have an office on the trade port, and they've been doing it for I think they've only done 3 years worth. And it's cost, a couple hundred or a few $100 for them to do this service, but they do all the filing for us, and I am glad they do it. So I had to prepare all that and submit it to them, and I'm sure they will have something for us well within the deadline. Awesome.
Did you have a chance to talk to them about our designation as a 503?
I knew you were going to ask me that. as soon as I looked at it, I was like, oh, I was supposed to ask them something else, wasn't I? I did not. But
okay.
It's a quick email question and answer. In fact, maybe I'll do it
okay.
when it's somebody else's turn to talk.
Remind me, what's the question we're asking them?
So in order to, so right now we're designated as like a 503 unspecified nonprofit, and in order to apply for Amazon Smile donations to the PTO, we would have to redesignate us to be one of the ones underneath it. And there's like 8,000 PTOs that is under Amazon Smile. So we were just going to find out if we could redesignate it to be one of those, if we are, and how much it would cost, because if it's going to cost us money and time, then obviously it's not worth it. So
yeah, right. So wait, we're 501(c)(3),
501,
right?
sorry, I said it wrong.
Yes, we're a 501c3, but underneath that there might be designations of what type of 501c3 you are.
Yes.
That's all.
Okay. I will actually, I don't know if it's specifically our accountant, but she's also my accountant, and I'll just text her while we're sitting here and maybe get an answer.
I'm sure they can do it. Yeah, if you say that every other PTO in the country has it,
yeah,
we just need to submit whatever form it is to the IRS.
Yeah, if you type in PTO, like 8,000 of them come up. So I feel like maybe it's just if it's a quick thing where we just have to like refile something.
It'll probably be part of this year's filing.
Yeah,
and it's probably it's probably an industry classification code that goes on the report that we just haven't cared about in the past.
Okay, I'll ask her later.
And I think I sent you the link to what Amazon's requirements were.
Okay.
And if I didn't, let me know and I will resend that to you.
No, I remember seeing it. I'm sure. I don't delete anything, so
I don't either.
I just need to find it. So that's my report. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and in terms of it, typically I should also mention our cash balances. There was really no activity through the PayPal activity this month, although something came in today. But we still have over $40,000 in the People's checking account. So none of the cash has really changed much, just a little bit of reduction due to this month's expenditures.
Okay. Thank you, Robert. Okay, so from President's Report. So last month I introduced Rachel as our new social media manager. But what I didn't say is that we did vote her in via email, the executive board. So I think that's something we should probably note in the minutes, that she was officially voted into the position. And then we actually have Laura on, where are you, Laura? Anyway, Laura has agreed, there we go, to help out with fundraising. So she's going to be our new fundraising co-chair, along with Nicole. And so that we will need to put to a vote. Do we have to motion to make the vote? Sorry, I'm still new at this. No? Okay. So do we want to just say vote in chat?
No, actually, you're right. So you would make a motion, someone makes a motion to vote in Laura to be the new co-chair, and then
Am I
we would
allowed to
then
make
all vote in the chat.
Am I allowed to make that motion?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to make the motion that we vote Laura in as the fundraising co-chair.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Who's the second?
Courtney?
Courtney, thank you. Yes, okay, so if you would like Laura to be our new fundraising co-chair, please write your answers in the chat. Yes or no?
Is it not gonna be unanimous?
I think it is unanimous, but we do have to officially go through it.
My sister's on here, so she may say no, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Did I go directly to Margaret? Oh, wow.
You
look
can
at
just
that.
go, you can if you want, or
No, I
you
think she
just-
set it up that way. Margaret, did you set it up that way?
No. Yeah, you did do it for me. You did email me. That's fine.
Interesting.
I'm just thrilled that she's going to be able to co-chair. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
yes, Laura, thank you. We
So
are
I was going to
so
do
happy-
it.
so happy to have you. Well, I don't see any no's. Is everybody done? Okay. All right, Laura, welcome to the team. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name's Laura Huoltongua. I'm actually Katie Pupino's sister. We moved to Exeter about 7 years ago. And I just recently changed jobs, so I'll have more flexibility to work from home and participate in more community activities like the PTO. So I was able to coach my daughter's soccer team in the fall, and there's just been a lot of positive things about changing roles professionally. Personally, I have a daughter, Addison, who's in first grade at Main Street School, and a son, Jackson, who's in third grade at Lincoln Street School. So I'm excited to be a part of this and help where I can.
Thank you and welcome. We're excited to have you.
Thanks.
Okay, so fundraising report is next. That's Nicole.
Okay, I couldn't unmute. Okay, so where am I at? So all the socks were delivered. I know that that's kind of my last bit about that. It was very unorganized, but huge shout out to Lauren Kyle. That woman is like a saint and a half. She helped me organize it. And it was like, it took us like 20 minutes and she was like, it's really not a big deal. And I was like, well, I'm glad you thought so. So we all need to give Lauren a giant pat on the back. So all the socks are delivered, even to community members. Ended up not being nearly as bad as I thought it would be. So hooray. Square one is underway. So teachers that are on, if you can really, drive that message home to your kiddos and to your other teachers, your other teammates, that would be amazing. Orders do close. The deadline is November 18th. I think we have a pretty good start considering it just went home this week. I don't know when you guys, it should have hopefully around Monday. But I just checked before our call and we've earned about $566 in a few days. So I think this is my first time doing it, but I think that's pretty good. So yeah, so we'll just keep pushing that. You're going to see that a lot. So Drew and Beth, I mean, I'll email Tanya, but you're just going to keep getting emails from me as those reminders. And then if whoever makes the end of the day announcements could just announce to the families, that would be, or to the kids, that would be great. And then huge shout out to Rachel because her posts on Facebook are killing me. They are hysterical. Way to like draw in the crowd. I'm like loving it. So feel free to run with those with fundraising at all times. So yeah, I'm super excited to have Laura joining us. Laura, so I will talk, you and I can hopefully meet at some point. I am rolling off this year. My daughter's in 5th grade, so I'm done at the elementary schools. It's only been
told
like,
me that.
it's only been like 15, 17 years. I don't know. I've been here forever. So I'm really excited to have someone who's excited to be part of it. It really is. It's pretty rewarding. I'm not going to lie. There's definitely frustrations here and there, but the staff are just all so appreciative of everything that happens. Never once have I felt like it was a job that wasn't worth doing. On that note, Breathe New Hampshire is, we'll kick that off when we get back from the holidays, I think. And I have a contact. I know Margaret works there. I have a contact. We are going to do it like as an online purchase. And then the books, I believe, will get mailed directly to the family's homes. So that should make it, I think it's just going to be a lot of emails and promoting it in that regard. And as always, I mean, it's an easy one because if families were to go to Storyland, the book pays for itself just from Storyland. And then there's like 1,000,003 other things. And I think they've gotten a fair amount of new things this year, which is also awesome to see that, you know, we can help out some businesses, you know, after the COVID, well, you know, I guess it's not over. Here I am talking like it's over. So yeah. And then before, I know Susie's on for rounding up, I did email RJ's. And I don't know if his mailbox is full. I did it right after the meeting and I tried 2 different times. I guess I just need to go in there and talk with them. Because the email Gmail just keeps bouncing it back saying that it can't be delivered, but that it'll keep trying. So I think that it might just be that his mailbox is so full that he can't get any more email. And I guess that's it for me.
Lori sent me an email about Spiritware, which she's on board for handling Spiritware again this year. I don't know if she told you that or not.
Nope.
That's okay. Okay.
Yeah, her and Susie did it last year. And Robert, I think, had a little bit to do with it, but I think Susie and Lori mostly did it and they kind of just ran with it, which is awesome. It's nice when there's small groups that can take little pieces of fundraising.
So she wants to know what month we want sales to take place. That way she can start planning.
Can I get back to you on that? I just want to, somewhere I have it written down, like what our year would look like.
Okay.
I'm going to think off the top of my head, February would be the top of my head, but let me, I'll email her and you.
Okay. And then she also wants to know, do we want to change the colors this year? So I guess last year we did the blue with the white printing. Maybe we could do gray. Would she say gray shirts with blue printing this year? So they're different.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And then she said she's assuming the same cotton t-shirt, tri-blends, youth, adults, sweatshirts for both, and maybe hats this year.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay.
Awesome. I'll get an email going and see Susie. I don't see you, but I'm assuming you're here. I will CC you on that as well.
Yep, I'm here and I'd be more than happy to help. So, yep.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
So box tops, we have like $66 that we've raised so far. I think that's something we need to push probably a little bit more.
So why don't we've got a little bit of time, even if the RJ's thing comes through in the last minute, we could really do a big push with that on social after the 18th when Square One is finished.
Okay.
So we can really push that where people are going to be shopping for their holidays, food shopping for their holidays, to remind them. And I wonder if I haven't looked into it, and I can look a little bit, or maybe you can. I wonder if there's a QR code that we can put up on the social page so people can just like scan that and then go right to it to sign up. Because, you know, the less steps there are, I think the more inclined people are going to be to do it.
That's what, to download the app?
Yeah.
Okay. I will look. I will look into that.
Okay.
Also, I was looking at the stats. So we had like 18 people scan them in September, and then 14 in October. And then so far there's only been 5 this month. So it's kind of dwindling.
Yeah.
So if we can definitely push that, I think we should. And actually, I think our checks for the textile bins are a little bit less also. So I feel like that's something else we should probably push.
So I think that that's probably a new year, after the new year push, when people
Okay.
are cleaning out. That's my opinion. I think people tend to like, you know, refresh in the new year. So we can remind them that they can send all, you know, what the things they are, what the things that the bin accepts, and that we do get money for that. Cause I think sometimes people don't realize that. So kind of refreshing everybody with that. And I'm going to think we are going to see it be a little bit lower, because I think that COVID number was definitely a little bit of an anomaly because everybody was stuck at home and they cleaned their houses out. But I think that that's definitely a January push, but the box tops, I think holiday time is a great time to really push that. And we don't really, as far as like social media wise, we don't really have, from the fundraising aspect, we don't have anything we need to push after Square One until the new year.
And then I also still have some spiritware here. So I was thinking maybe, should we do some posts about this, what the remaining spiritware that I have?
Certainly could. We could also use it as a incentive. We could do a contest and incorporate box tops into it somehow. Whoever, you know, scans the most amount of box tops, I don't want to say money, but the most amount of box tops, that they are a winner, or the top 3 people get their choice of spiritware. And that'll kind of get people realizing that spiritware is a thing.
Should we get there? See, I know I can see on the chart how many people, but I don't know that I can actually see people.
Well, we can look into that, but I think let's use some of that spiritware. I don't know how much is left, but let's definitely try to use it for, you know, some sort of contest.
Okay, that sounds good.
And even if we can, I guess, even if we can only see the names, but not how much they did, if we can get into the analytics and figure that out, we can do like one of those like spinning wheels where you plug everybody's name in, and we do it like 3 times, and then those people win, just as a way to get people to like maybe do it.
Okay, that's a good idea. I'll look into that more.
I don't think. Yeah, I'll look on my app, but I don't think that I can see what you're seeing. But I also have never really dug deep.
It's not. It's right in the app. I clicked on the. Clicked on the number. Let's see. I clicked on box tops, and then it says Exeter Elementary 6540, and then it brings up the stats.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we can also get creative. If anyone else has any ideas, feel free to spitball them out there about, you know, maybe doing some sort of contest to kind of beef that up a little bit.
Okay. Also, I feel like there used to be people like somebody who like stayed on top of box tops, and then somebody who stayed on top of the textile bins. Should I be looking for people for those?
So no one was ever on textile. It was just kind of one of those things that we talked about as often as we could. There was a graphic, and I have it. I can share it with you. that we can now, Drew had shared it at one point, but we can post it to our Minga page. And it's just a reminder about box tops, textile bin, and I believe direct donation, just letting people know how you can support the PTO year round, not just by actual like spending money on fundraisers, just in your daily life. I can share that with you. And then if you don't like it, feel free to not use it. I made it a couple of years ago. We did have somebody that did box tops. However, when it went digital, there wasn't a job really for her anymore because she used to cut them and then put them together and ship them out and whatever. And we don't need that anymore. So there really was no point. I think honestly, sorry, Rachel, but I kind of think it's going to fall to Rachel a little bit to just see what the social media calendar looks like as well. And, you know, where we're posting things and to maybe just post a little bit more to social. And we could obviously have Drew and Tanya bring it up again in their, I guess they're, I don't even know if they're doing newsletters. That sounds terrible. I'm sorry, Drew. I do pay attention to what's happening.
No, that's a change. No newsletters. It's straight Minga.
Okay. I get lost in Colette, man. She's already a news anchor, that one. So
Can I make a suggestion?
yeah.
Years ago, we used to have competitions between classes to whoever had, you know, the most for box tops, like one. I mean, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure like a class would be as super excited about getting some more apparel, but I bet you if you dangled a $100 Amazon gift card in front of me, I would get all my kids on. I don't know. I mean, a gift card to Amazon or something, but I don't know about Emily and Kat. But
Well, extra
again,
recesses go a long way too.
So I think that boils down again to the analytics because it's digital and we're one school. So we can't even see who's from Maine and who's for Lincoln. It's just, I think we just maybe need to dig a little bit more because, I mean, I don't know how we would go about doing that unless we, go ahead, Emily.
No, I was thinking if we made a goal as like if we reach a certain total, but then that wouldn't work. Never mind. Forget what I said.
Well, I mean, we could do, we could potentially do like if we, as you know, school entirely K through 5, if we got to, let's just say $500, then we would give a $100 gift card to, or maybe one at each school. And again, we can just do that wheel and it can be fair that way. The wheel chooses, you know, Mrs. Finnis's class or Mrs. York's class, and they get the $100 gift card, and whether she chooses to do like donuts with her kids and then buy a new toy or something, or they get to watch a movie, like whatever. Just so as a whole, we're all collaboratively doing it, but somebody will win something. That
so you can't break it down by Lincoln Street versus Main Street.
I don't think so. I'm going to dig. Let me dig a little bit into the analytics of this.
Oh, I see Melissa raising her hand.
Oh. Hi, everybody. I just want to just piggyback on something because, hey, Jen, Acorn School, I work at Acorn School, and we just did a fundraiser and for the whole school. And they did some incentives where if you reached a certain milestone, you got something for the whole school. And something as simple as like, I don't know if the public school can do this, but bubble machines going at drop off in the morning. That was such a huge hit, and the kids loved it. And it was because they reached, I don't know, could have been 500 or something. And then another one was they just got to do like little dance parties. So maybe you could do like music over their speaker system, and they do something cute like that. So they found very inexpensive incentives, but something that the whole school could celebrate when you reached your goals, whatever they were.
Yeah, I think it's all really great ideas. We just need to figure out how we can find out where we can see the breakdown of what's happening.
You can just pretend and we'll believe you.
Okay. I love you, but I'm not putting that on me because let me just tell you, I don't want the angry emails that their kid didn't get a pizza party, all right?
We won't tell.
You won't, but the kids will. Susie, you know that. All right, so I'm going to try to dig a little bit into this box tops and see what we can find.
And you know what? We could do a pizza party.
I mean, that's entirely up to, I guess, the classroom teacher, you know,
I love the idea of a bubbles at drop off. That sounds like fun. I mean, that would be like super fun to have like on a day, like that would be fun.
Yeah, K through 2, but I'm telling you right now, my 5th grader is going to be like, I don't want bubbles. That's just weird. As it is, I'm not allowed to like tell her I love her when she gets out of the car. Come on. But yes, all really great ideas. I think we can, let's dig a little bit deeper into box tops and see what we can figure out, and just some ways to beef it up and hopefully get a little more revenue from it.
And my last question about, I know we're not outwardly promoting direct donation, but I mean, should we have a couple of social posts about direct donation?
You certainly can. It's a great idea. Again, that's a great December post.
Mhm.
When people are thinking of their year end, and if they are looking to potentially, you know, have a couple write-offs, it's a great idea. So yeah, I for sure, there's not going to be any harm in it at all.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to other updates. Get Fit in May. Kim could not be here tonight, but she did want to let me know that we have, hold on. I think Bryn was on the call. Bryn is going to be on the Get Fit in May team. I forget her last name, I'm sorry. She is going to take care of food, beverage, and entertainment, her and her family. And then we have a new person for sponsorship coordinator. So thanks to Rachel, we've filled 2 positions, which was awesome. She thinks she's set for sponsorship coordinators, but I mean, we could always use more. So if the more people on it, the more sponsorships, obviously, the more we raise. So be on the lookout for anybody who might have some fundraising background who would love to be on that team. Hospitality.
Wait, can I just make a comment? I don't
Sure.
think fundraising background is required to be on that team.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't have to be fundraising. It could be anybody who wants to talk to a local business.
Yeah, it was a lot of that.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, fundraising, I know fundraising people are very good at it, but there's plenty of people who can raise money that don't have a fundraising background. Sorry. Thank you, Robert. Okay, Courtney, you're up for hospitality.
So I don't really have much of an update. I know Jennifer gave an update last month on our back to school appreciation lunch. Thank you. Cards went out to all of the pizza places that helped, and to the grocery stores that donated. So that is kind of all tied up, and looking forward to talking about teacher appreciation next year.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay, Megan, enrichment. Thank you, Courtney.
So I met with Deanna this week to follow up, and some programs are scheduled for both schools already, and we're working on scheduling a few more. That's about it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Rachel, social media.
Yeah, so I think this week until the 18th, it's going to be a real focus on the square one. And then after that, I think kind of have the orders with box tops and figuring out whatever fundraiser or competitions we want to do to promote that. Then we'll do direct donations. And then if there's anything else that needs to be promoted, if anyone wants to email me over the next couple weeks, just let me know.
Thank you, Rachel. Let's see. So Tanya's not here today, so Beth is giving the school update.
Hi everyone, can you hear me okay? Okay, good. Just a couple of quick updates. We did have our parent conferences last week. Feels like a long time ago, last week. And we had a really good turnout. We had the choice between in-person or remote virtual conferences. And it was great to have, families back into the building if they so choose to do so. And all went well. So that was a really good experience, moving a little bit more towards some normal processes as a school was really nice to see. Again, thank you to the PTO for continuing to support our teachers who put forth their reimbursements. I know that every little bit helps because they certainly put their own money into supporting our students, continuously throughout the year. So I thank you for supporting that. We just wrapped up our fall session of after-school enrichments. We had probably a record number of students who participated, or close to a record number. We had over 100 students, which was great. And we had different activities, from friendship bracelet making to Legos to coloring to math games using technology. It was really, we had a really good turnout. So we are starting to plan our winter after school enrichments, and those will start sometime towards the end of January. We have put together a couple of opportunities to support families and students over the holidays, the coming holidays. We do have an in-person shop set up in one of our classrooms right now, where families can come in and do a little shopping for clothing or goods that they might need to help support them and the students. And then we have something that we're organizing called Holiday Hope, where it's going to be an in-person shopping opportunity in December for some of our families to come and purchase and collect items for the holidays coming up in December. And a big thank you to all of our outside organizations that have donated money to support this, as well as our staff that's always very generous in giving items and or donations to support our families. Big thank you to our school nurse, Caitlin Anglia, for organizing these events for our families, and all of our team at school, our mental health team that really comes together to look for opportunities to support families that might be in need, not only around the holidays, but year round. Big thank you to Megan Stagnone for reaching out to some of our past vendors who came in to provide enrichments for our students. She has reached out to a number of them. Megan and I have been going back and forth a lot this week to kind of coordinate some of these activities for our students. We have a couple of whole school activities planned, one for January, one for May, and then we're looking for some grade level activities, just looking to firm up some final details for those. So thank you, Megan, for being patient and going back and forth and helping to schedule those. So I appreciate that. And I think that's it from our end for right now.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you so much, Beth, for the update. Drew, you're next.
Sure. Just one thing to duplicate what Beth was saying, just going through this meeting and hearing just everything that the PTO does. It just never ceases to amaze me how supportive and awesome you guys are. The work that goes into this is we recognize it, we see you, and we appreciate it. I just want to make sure we put that out there. I did a inadvertent copy and paste earlier in the chat, so I put in 3 links to some video updates that we've been trying to put out on a relatively regular basis. So we're trying to have, student-driven news, and so we're just trying to have it be, students interviewing staff and other kids to notify parents of what's going on. So if you haven't checked those out, please do so. There'll be more coming up in the near future. Big occurrence most recently is our parent-teacher conferences and student-led conferences last week. My calculations got us at about 91% of our students were represented during those conferences, which is probably the best that since I've been there. I attribute it, I think, to the fact that we too offered both a Zoom option and an in-person option. So I think folks who could come in did. Folks who weren't able to still had an opportunity to come to and conference with the teachers. So I think it's good food for thought for next spring and upcoming years to just make sure that those conferences are accessible to everyone. One highlight, I'm sure Stephanie might bring it up, but fifth grade tried something new this year with student-led conferences. And just both teachers, students, parents all absolutely adored those. And I mean, it was, people were beaming after they were done with them, just proud of their kids, proud of everything, getting to see, the inside of the school, but also just see the work that the kids are producing. And so I thank the fifth grade for going out on that limb and trying something new, and thank the parents for bearing with us as we were trying something new. I think we'll probably see more of that in the future. And the last just little update I wanted to give is just keep your eyes and ears open. Lincoln Street School is going to be doing a gift card drive for the Thanksgiving and the holiday gift giving time, just to make sure we're supporting all of our families. It's something that we did last year, and so we're just going to replicate that again this year. We are seeing an increased level of need in our community, so we just want to make sure we can support everyone. So the upcoming 2 months or so are as enjoyable as possible for everyone.
Thank you, Drew.
Sure.
So we're going to get into the teacher reports, but if you don't mind, we're going to go backwards today because Stephanie needs to jump off the call. I didn't think anybody would care. So Stephanie, you're up. You're on mute.
There you go. Thank you very much. Fifth grade has been working on division. Yes, it can be a little bit trying sometimes, but hang in there, parents. We are doing chemistry and science, working on explorers, and then we're going to get into the Revolutionary War. They've been dancing in PE and music class, which is either a fan or not a fan, but they're getting there. Practicing for their Christmas concert that Sue's going to do. That's going to be outside. We talked about that before, so that was exciting. The fire department came and brought coats for students, so that was wonderful to see, and a lot of happy faces. So that was great. Megan, thank you very much for organizing the enrichment. We have already started signing up for, I believe we're changing sky, which goes along with our space unit, and we're excited about that. So thank you, thank you. We are also the third grade, Jen Harrington and their sister Jess made turkeys posters, and all the kids are making hands for feathers and writing thank you messages on them, and they're really cute and adorable. So those are in the hallway. The other thing was, I wrote so many notes, I can't read my own notes. And yeah, so I think that, the student-led conferences, I have to tell you, I did them and I was so impressed. If you haven't tried it with the students, they just like took over. One I was doing, I started gabbing and I said, wait a minute, this is student-led, I gotta shut up. So, okay, your turn. And I was so proud of them. I can't tell you how much they just talked about themselves and their work, and they were very honest about where they were, and I just loved it. Absolutely, I would highly recommend it. It was great. So thank you, some parents, for hanging in there, and PTO, as always, you are fantastic, and it's so appreciated. I can't tell you how many times in school we talk about you, and all very, very good and very helpful things that you guys do. So thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. So we'll go backwards. We're still going backwards. So fourth grade, Katrina is stepping in today for Stacy.
Yes, hi everyone. It's nice to see everyone. A few things that I just wanted to mention is that the fourth grade, the last few classes went to Sandy Point Discovery Center yesterday. So thank you so much for your contribution that helped to aid the bus cost and keep prices down for families. We just met as a grade level last week, and we will be going to the State House this year. So to stay COVID friendly, we'll only be going there. We won't be going to any of the museums, and we're hoping to put the remainder of the PTO money that's left toward the bus fees. Due to the distance and having to take the highway, the bus does cost a little bit more money, so we greatly appreciate that contribution as well. The other thing that we started discussing is, now that we're back in school full time, to keep the kids loving reading. The last countless years I've been in charge of Reading Carnival, so we're going to be bringing that back. And part of, yeah, you can do face painting, Nicole. We're signing you up.
I'll be there, and just for the record, I'm bringing Charlotte since she missed it last year.
Oh, good. I know. So we'll be doing that. And in addition to that, we picked a cultural enrichment that you all sponsor and we're so appreciative of. That's called Rock Out for Reading. And that's been booked for April 5th. So the following week will be when we kick off the Reading Carnival. And it's just a great push to get kids engaged in the spring and continuing to love reading. Let me see what other notes. On another note, Keith Schmidt and I are the student council co-advisors. And like Drew mentioned, we just finished, the student council members donated money, as well as staff members, toward the Thanksgiving baskets that Martha LaPearl, her foundation, collects at CMS. And we raised hundreds of dollars in grocery stores. So thank you to everyone here that donated to that. Usually the kids will bring in turkeys and all non-perishable items, and we weren't able to do that, but the kids were so excited still to see the donations and contribute. Piggybacking that, we'll be collaborating with Exeter High School as well as CMS, a warm clothing drive for the winter. So in the past, student council has done the drive, and then Mr. Schmidt and I have made the donations and dropped them off. And this year, all three schools are collaborating to make sure that the warm clothing goes directly to our local families. So as you're starting to try on jackets and snow pants and boots and hats and gloves, and you realize that the kids have outgrown them, please hold on to them, because we will be collecting those within the next few weeks. And we'll be doing that as soon as we finish our can and food drive for St. Vincent de Paul that we started last week. So your children can either bring in the donations and drop them off below the TV near the front office at Lincoln Street School, or families are welcome to drop them off at the front office and we can put them in the box. They still need many canned items for the holidays, but in the past they've also just been looking for basic toiletries too that they're in need of: shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, and just basics that, you know, many of us take for granted that they are in need of. So I'd appreciate any donations there. And then lastly, just a thank you. As was mentioned about the student council t-shirts, years ago they had buttons to show that they were student council members when they'd work school store on a student council day. And now they wear the t-shirts proudly around school on Thursday mornings and at the school store and at our assemblies when they speak. So just thank you so much. Keith and I wanted to extend our gratitude because we have about 38 student council members this year. So thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, third grade. Dawn, you're up.
Hi, everyone. It's good to hear all that's going on. You never know, even though we're in the same building, we don't always see what's up in the next grade up. So I got a couple things. Our cornfield character celebration was a blast again this year, that community endeavor, and it was a big hit. The only added feature that we had that wasn't in the past was we had a masterpiece that each class worked together. So the kids got to see from start to finish. They all got to participate, and then other kids also were inspired to create their own at their house too. So it was like everyone participated, they had a part of. Secondly, We had dictionaries delivered to us. It was I believe it was the Grange maybe. And the kids were like, what? We get this? And it was just really intriguing to see their eyes open wide and the curiosity. And it was just kind of neat to see. Like, it wasn't a birthday, it wasn't a celebration. You didn't win a prize for doing something like expected behavior. But it was just like, wow, your hard work, guys. Just take it as a high five, but it's a tangible high five. And we're just learning. We're still learning the routines, and they're doing a great job of some of the classes are shifting classes and switching for math and reading, and that's going really well. And everything, like eating in the classroom, eating in the half.
4+4.
Fantastic. And they just really love our mystery science units, which is animals through time. They're studying about how the environment changes and then the animals, and they get their own little field journal. Today in our class anyways, everyone's at different spots, and they're looking at like, wow, what does this trait have? What does this animal have for a trait to have it survive as a whole? So I don't know. We want to thank you again on behalf of the whole third grade. Thanks so much for what you guys do for us daily, because the kids are just excited about learning, and it's so good to be back. So thanks so much for listening.
Thank you, Dawn. And Kat, are you here for second grade?
I am.
Okay,
Hi.
great.
Hi, everybody. Again, thank you so much, PTO people. Your work is amazing, and you are so appreciated. My colleagues wanted to make sure we thanked you again for the reimbursements. They're really very helpful. We just met actually yesterday, and we're excited about working on a new unit having to do with kids around the world. So we've been busy with that. Some of us are studying woodland animals, and others will do it at a later time. We are continuing with a lot of math training for our new math program. And I'm new to second grade this year. I'm really excited about it. So double-digit addition, that is a big deal right now. So working hard on that. And I didn't know that all the other people were going to like speak so long. I asked Nikki Bell, I said, how long do I have to talk for? She goes, a couple minutes. So sorry, that's the short, sweet nutshell.
It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. It just depends on what's going on. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Emily.
Hi, everyone. So like everyone said, thank you so much for the PTO reimbursement. We really appreciate it. And also, Dawn, I actually saw a third grader walking with the dictionary in their hand to Main Street today. So they were very excited about that. So for first grade, I'm currently the only class writing the letters I had mentioned before, the pen pal letters to the assisted living facility, but that's going strong, and I'm hoping to get some other teammates on board for that, because the students at first were a little confused because they know they don't meet the people they're writing to, but now they really look forward to receiving their letters back. Something that the whole team did is when we were reading a story in Journeys about a neighborhood, we talked a lot about our community. They had done a lot of community talk in kindergarten. But we are excited since we hadn't been on field trips. We took a few classes, walked to the Exeter Public Safety Complex. We made cards for the police officers and the firefighters. They took the truck out, so the ladder truck, so we could see it. We also many classes walked over to the train station to go along with a story about a little cat on a train, and just talked about the train. They were so excited, and the conductors were waving to them. And so they were really excited about that. So then after those two trips, some classes did different things based on students, what they wanted, but some classes made brochures to show their community. So if they had a visitor come to Exeter, what are some places that you think is important and that people would want to see? And I think Stillwell's made it on every single brochure. And then some classes actually brought in like recyclables and things around the house, and they made an entire town that took up pretty much the whole floor of their classroom. So it was just really fun to see them get really excited about their community and thinking about what's important to them in their community. And then just the last thing that a few classes were doing this week, talking about Veterans Day, we wrote some letters to veterans and actually shipped over some donated Halloween candy that students brought in, were willing to share. So we just shipped that off to some, actually Mrs. McElveen, who works at our school, her son is stationed in Texas. And so we shipped it to him. So he won't get it this week, but we hope that he'll enjoy it very soon. So that's just some things happening in first grade.
Thank you, Emily. And Susie.
Hi. Well, first of all, I checked out the Facebook page that Rachel's working on, and it's super cute. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's definitely, I would highly recommend it. I want to say hi to Bryn, because I don't know if you guys know, but Bryn has 7 children. So the fact that she's jumping on to help out with the Get Fit in May, when people say they don't have enough time, but with having 7 children, I'm going to give a shout out to Bren for helping us out. But parent conferences were phenomenal. So many parents hadn't been into the school yet. I mean, these are kindergarten friends, and they had, the parents couldn't come into the school last spring because of COVID. So I think most of us had, like 99% of our conferences were in person. So the parents had the opportunity to see the school for the first time. So that was super exciting. And a lot of the classes got to take advantage of the Cornstalk characters, and love that. We're currently almost starting to the end of foundations. We're on the last 6 letters of the alphabet. And the I Ready, we are on to numbers 6 through 10, and talking about greater than, less than, and combinations to 10. Well, combinations from 6 to 10. So, and that's where we are in kindergarten.
Okay, great. Thank you. Should we talk about flexible seating?
Sure, if you want to.
Is that something that Main Street School? So I think Lincoln Street School is going to go a different route with. So let me take a step back. So we have funds, probably $4,000 for each school, that we have allotted for things that the school needs, but we haven't put an actual item to it yet. So we've been talking about flexible seating over at Main Street School. We did research it over at Lincoln Street School, but I think Drew would like to go a different route, which is totally fine. You don't have to both do the same thing. And so how does your school feel about possibly funding us funding flexible seating? Is that something they want, or should we be looking at something else? Is really what I'm asking.
And so you're asking Drew, or are you asking us at Main Street?
Main Street.
Okay, so when I reached out to Nikki, kind of asked her group, and they all, if they had a preference, they all would love those accordion type stools. Mm-hmm. And then Emily very nicely reached out to her team, and she had a lot of interest in the wobble seats. And then she had a couple of friends that would prefer the buckets, the scoop chairs. Emily, yeah. And then as far as kindergarten goes, we all, if we had the opportunity, would love the opportunity to have the accordion type stools.
The ergos, right?
Yeah, the ergos. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's something I guess we should get together and talk about a little bit more.
Sure.
You let me know when. I don't know if you want it to be the student reps and me, and I don't know if Nicole is still interested in helping to figure out how we're going to handle that.
Mm-hmm. We can, if you want to do it in person or Zoom, it's 100% up to you guys.
I can do either. It's fine with me. All right, so we'll take that out of this meeting, and we'll talk about that. And then Drew, did you want to talk a little bit about what you wanted to use the funds for?
Yeah, so we've been planning an artist in residence project, planned to sort of come to fruition in the spring. And it'll be sort of a collaboratively made outdoor mural on the side of our corrugated gym, the exterior of our gym. Hopefully maybe we can beautify that a little bit. And so the whole intention is to bring all the school together after being apart for so long, and have sort of visual representation of that community. And so we're hoping, we're not sure yet, but it would be really nice if it happens to all come together around the same time as Get Fit in May. Maybe have sort of giant, ribbon cutting / rice starting thing all at the same time. That might be wishful thinking, but that's what we'd like to use the funds for, to offset the cost of that.
Okay. All right. And Drew, I don't see any reason. I thought about this more, and I don't see a reason why the PTO can't help support that unless somebody here has a comment. No, I didn't think so.
I comment that it's a great idea.
Yes, thank you, Robert. I think it's a great idea too. Okay, so with that said, I just want to remind everybody, first before remind everybody there is no meeting in December. Our next meeting is in January. It will be via Zoom. January 12th, I believe, is the date. Does anybody have any questions or any other business that we need to discuss that I might have missed? No? Okay, great. Would somebody like to motion to close the meeting?
Well, I'll do it, even though I just can't fill Cindy's shoes. The meeting is just. So I make a motion to end the meeting, but if everybody could also sign into the chat before you're out, just so Margaret has attendance.
That would be great. Thank you.
And I second Nicole's.
Okay. Well, just